Attention, passionate Dallas Cowboys fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East, and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Dallas Cowboys' path to another championship run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before we dive in, if you're a true Dallas Cowboys fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and fellow Dallas Cowboys fans. Let's get to the news. Now, let's talk about where the Dallas Cowboys stand right now. It's no secret that this season has been a bit of a roller coaster, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Fans are feeling the tension, the frustration, and the concern, especially after what happened in that Monday night football game against the Arizona Cardinals. You do think that coming into that game, with the Cardinals struggling and the Cowboys needing a bounce back, it would be the perfect opportunity for the defense to tighten up, to show some of that Dallas grit, right? But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Instead, what we saw was a team that looked unprepared, overwhelmed, and quite frankly, exposed. And the big story here, the headline that has been echoing around the NFL world, is the performance of the Dallas defense specifically. The struggles of the defensive coordinator, Matt Eberflus. His unit, which was supposed to be one of the league's most formidable, continues to be a major point of concern. Week after week, the numbers tell a story that's hard to ignore. It's not just about a bad game here or there. It's a pattern. The defense has been one of the NFL's worst, and the recent game against Arizona only highlighted how much work still needs to be done. Let us break down what exactly happened on that Monday night, because it wasn't just about a few missed tackles or blown coverages. It was a comprehensive failure on multiple levels. Arizona, clearly in a slump, was supposed to be an easier opponent, especially with their backup quarterback, Jacoby Brissett, under center. But instead, the Cardinals' offense burned the Cowboys early and often. It's almost baffling how a team with so much talent on paper could be so vulnerable. The Cardinals' attack was firing on all cylinders, and much of that can be traced back to the way the Cowboys' secondary was carved up. And who was the main culprit? Marvin Harrison Jr., a second-year wide receiver with just 2 seasons under his belt, turned out to be a nightmare for Dallas' defense. Harrison hauled in 7 catches on 10 targets for a staggering 96 yards, and most importantly, a touchdown. And if you watched that game, you saw how often he was able to embarrass the Cowboys' cornerback, DaRon Bland. It wasn't just a case of a talented receiver making plays. It was a defensive breakdown, a failure to adjust, and a lack of game planning. Harrison's performance was a clear display of how unprepared Dallas was to handle such a pivotal matchup. What makes it even more frustrating is that everyone knew what Arizona's offensive threats were. They don't have a deep pool of top-tier receivers. Michael Wilson is a decent player, but he is not exactly someone you label as a game changer. After that, the talent drops off dramatically. So the question is, why wasn't there a better game plan? Why wasn't there a specific strategy to neutralize Harrison and contain the passing attack? It's a fair question, and honestly, it raises doubts about the defensive coaching staff's ability to adapt and prepare. Now, let us not forget that on top of that, Dallas was facing a quarterback who, despite being a backup, was still capable of making plays. Brissett isn't a rookie. He is a veteran with a lot of experience, and he showed that in this game. He threw for 261 yards, 2 touchdowns, and maintained a passer rating of 115.1. That is not just some average performance. That is a pretty solid showing against a defense that was supposed to be elite. The fact that he was able to do that, despite knowing in advance that he'd be facing a backup quarterback, points to a lack of preparation, strategic planning, and execution from the Cowboys' defense. This is where the criticism of Matt Eberflus really comes into focus. He is the defensive coordinator, the guy responsible for game plans, adjustments, and making sure that the defense performs at a high level. But what we're seeing is a pattern of inconsistencies, blown coverages, and a defense that seems to struggle with giving up big plays. And let us be honest, some of that falls squarely on the players, but ultimately, the design and adjustments come down to the coach. The fact that this same pattern has persisted over several weeks suggests that Eberflus might be out of his depth at this level, especially with the kind of expectations that come with coaching the Cowboys. And here's where the story gets even more complicated. The Cowboys have already gone through a few defensive coordinators in recent years, and there is a growing sentiment among fans and analysts that Eberflus might not be the long-term solution. He was brought in to be a stabilizing force, to bring a new identity to the defense after some rough seasons. But instead, it feels like the struggles are mounting, and the Team's defense is regressing instead of progressing. It's a tough pill to swallow, especially when you consider the history of this franchise and its reputation for having a tough, physical defense. That's a core part of the Cowboys' identity, and right now it's under threat. Some fans are already voicing their frustrations, calling for changes or even questioning whether Eberflus should remain in charge. It's a delicate situation because, as many know, mid-season firings aren't exactly Dallas' style. Owner and general manager Jerry Jones isn't quick to pull the trigger, especially during the season. But the question is, how much longer can this continue? How much damage can be done if the defense keeps struggling? The longer Eberflus stays in that role without significant improvement, the more entrenched bad habits become. That's dangerous because it's not just about losing a few games here and there. It's about setting a precedent that could haunt the franchise in the future. Think about the bigger picture. The Cowboys are a team with a rich history, a team that's always striving for another Super Bowl title. They've even been close in recent years, but the defense has often been the weak link. This season, with the defense underperforming, it's hard to see how they're going to make a deep playoff run if things don't change. The talent is there, no doubt. The offense has been solid, and the team's overall talent level is high. But football is a game of schemes and adjustments, and when your defense is leaking points and giving up big plays, it becomes almost impossible to sustain success over the long haul. And let us not forget the divisional implications. The NFC East is known for its fierce competition. The Eagles, Giants, and Commanders are all fighting hard to make their mark, and every game counts. If the Cowboys can shore up their defense, they risk falling behind in the division, which could cost them not just playoff positioning, but also home field advantage and overall confidence. The division rivals are taking notes, and they're realizing that Dallas' defense might be vulnerable, especially in big moments. Now, what's really alarming is that this isn't just about one game or a few bad weeks. It's about the underlying issues that have persisted and seem to be getting worse. The coaching, the scheme, the adjustments, these are all vital components of a successful defense. And right now, it feels like the Cowboys are missing the mark on all fronts. The players are doing their best, but without proper guidance and strategic planning, they're fighting an uphill battle. The NFL is a league where game plans and adjustments make all the difference. And right now, Dallas' defense appears to be lacking in both areas. So, what does the future hold? Well, fans are certainly wondering if change could be on the horizon. It's a difficult situation for Jerry Jones, who is known for his patience but also for making bold decisions when the team's performance doesn't meet expectations. The upcoming weeks will be critical. If the Cowboys don't improve defensively, and if Eberflus can turn things around, there's a real possibility that we could see a coaching shakeup. That would be a huge story, one that could redefine the team's direction for years to come. Of course, it's not just about firing someone and hoping for the best. It's about addressing the core issues, whether that's personnel, scheme, or coaching philosophy. But the reality is, the longer this defensive slump continues, the more doubts will grow about whether the Cowboys can truly contend for another Super Bowl with the current leadership on defense. And that leads us to the bigger question: can this team overcome its defensive struggles? Can they rally around the coaching staff and make the necessary adjustments to get back on track? Or is this season already showing signs of becoming a rebuilding year? It's a hard pill to swallow for fans who have high hopes, but honesty is key. The defense needs a spark, and it needs it soon. Otherwise, the Cowboys risk losing ground in a competitive NFC, and the long-term implications could be quite serious. As we look ahead, there are a lot of factors to keep an eye on. Will the coaching staff make changes? Will they adjust their game plan? And most importantly, will the players buy into whatever approach is taken? It's a pivotal moment for the franchise. The players have talent, the offense is solid, but football games are won and lost on defense, and right now, that's where the Cowboys are struggling the most. And let us be real, fans are craving consistency. They want to see that tough, disciplined Dallas defense that used to strike fear into opponents. They want to see strategic adjustments, better coverages, more aggressive schemes that put pressure on the quarterback. But until that happens, the questions will keep coming, and the pressure on Eberflus will mount. This isn't just about one game or one season. It's about the identity of the team, the legacy of the franchise, and whether Dallas can rise above these challenges and restore its reputation as a defensive powerhouse. The upcoming weeks are crucial, and the team's response to adversity will shape their future. For now, fans have every right to feel uneasy, but hope remains that the coaching staff and players can turn things around. Because at the end of the day, what we all want is to see the Cowboys back on top, playing the tough, relentless football that made them a legend in the league. And now, Dallas Cowboys fans, I want to hear from you. What is your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cowboys. Do you believe a coaching change is necessary? Or do you think the team can fix this with some adjustments? Whatever your view, I want to hear it. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Dallas Cowboys news. This season may be full of challenges, but one thing is for sure, our passion for the Cowboys is stronger than ever. And together, we'll keep supporting our team no matter what.